welcome to the first ever episode of the NDTV Auto Show. On this show, we will definitely get you lots of reviews, comparisons, and tell you all the details about your beloved machines. But we will also take you on lots of exciting adventures. So come join us on this joyride. The first episode had to be special, so we thought of covering SUVs. They are all the rage. In last financial year, almost 50% of all vehicles sold in India were SUVs. That's also because these days even hatchbacks on steroids are being called SUVs. So we thought of going back to the originals, the ones that truly deserve the sports utility vehicle tag, the real SUVs. To talk about these SUVs, I'm joined by my colleagues Mohit Bharadwaj and Anirban Mitra, and we will tell you all the capabilities that these SUVs have. We'll drive them on road and of course off-road. And to take them off-road, we have come to the apt location in Delhi NCR, and that's Off-Road Adventure Zone on Faridabad Gurgaon Road. The track here is exceptional to test the capabilities of these exceptional SUVs.
To kick things off, we have the Maruti Suzuki Jimny. Why? Well, it's the gateway to the sport called off-roading. Yes, it is the most accessible 4x4 in the country today, and for specifications, well, it comes with a 1.5 litre 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine, and it gets solid axles on both ends with coil spring. What you're missing out on is a mechanically locking differential, but you do get brake locking axles.
Well, thank you Mohit for such warm regards to a car that has not been all that warmly accepted in the market. But what has really done wonders for the brand and the nameplate itself is the car right here. Under 30 lakh rupees, this one is actually worth its weight in gold. A proper ladder-on frame chassis you get, mechanical lock differential for the rear axle, a low-range transfer case, and a car that will have the proper visibility when you are on the driving seat. And for you, all of this sitting on the fence, the 5-door Thar is just around the corner.
From inspired to the inspiration, I have with me Jeep Wrangler. In this Rubicon trim, you get 33-inch mud terrain tires, you get a sway bar, front and rear diff lock, roll cage, 2-inch lift kit, and a 2-litre turbo petrol engine. And this one is a swimmer. It has a water weighting capacity of 863 mm, highest in all the SUVs that we have here.
A car that's touted to be indestructible. Numbers out here might not be all that good, especially the approach, ramp over, or the departure angle. And there's where the customization comes in. You get into the aftermarket, just like this one, the unit out here, you can have a lot of accessories. It is the same 2.8 litre diesel mill that the Fortuner gets. Around 200 horsepower on the tap. You get an automatic transmission to go with. These are electronic differentials that you get with this car. And a host of features that can elevate your overall experience when you get off-road. And for me, it's a steal because at this point in time, Toyota is giving a massive discount on the Hilux.
Well, that was Hilux, but if you think of high, it's the G-Wagon that sets the benchmark on highest pricing, highest ground clearance, highest power and torque figure. This one comes with all 3 diff locks, 700 mm water weighting capacity, all-wheel drive system all the time, making sure that you can take your G-Wagon wherever you feel like, while this vehicle keeps you in the lap of luxury. And G-Wagon also gives you the highest brake value amongst all the SUVs that we have seen today.
Now, price to capability ratio is a crazy thing on the Jimny. After all, you pay the least amount of money for the most amount of fun in a Jimny. This tiny thing, with its light-footed nature, is certainly a goat. After all, it can climb steep up hills and come down gracefully with hill-decent control in action. You get solid axles, brake locking diffs and coil springs that make the articulation test an easy job. And because of its small track and overall small footprint, it does move around a fair bit, and the triple-digit cruising is indeed a tough job. But do not be disappointed. After all, you've only paid 12.74 lakh to get access to the Jimny.
What goes beyond Thar's commanding looks is the vast popularity it enjoys in the Indian market. If you are planning to get a Thar as a daily driver, there are chances your family would find faults in it. The instrumentation needs to get better. Second row accessibility is a major headache. Missing out on reverse camera is so not acceptable. The ride quality is bouncy, there is a great amount of body roll, and then NVH levels. But Thar is a Thar. No one dares to step into the boots of the mighty Thar. Both petrol and diesel engines are grunty and offer amazing pulling power. It is a climber. The Thar goes up and down the inclines like an ant, punching way above its weight. The suspension, especially the rear, is a new multi-link unit compared to leaf type for the earlier generation. This has helped in reducing the weight and improved handling. Water wading stands at handsome 625mm and more than 220mm of ground clearance to it. Thar makes a light work of obstacles at Auras. Thar also has the tightest wheelbase among all the 4x4s we have today, simply translating into shortest turnarounds in our maneuverability test. Overall, it's a dream package for the masses who want to take up off-roading as passion or otherwise.
The Wrangler Rubicon maintains the classic Jeep design. The 7-slot grille is restyled with painted rims. It's a look that's instantly recognizable and synonymous with off-road adventure. Inside, the Wrangler Rubicon combines utilitarian design with modern amenities. While the interior might not be as luxurious as some competitors, it is equipped with the latest technology, including the Uconnect 5 infotainment system with a 12.3-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Jeep offers a 2-liter turbocharged inline-4 engine, producing 272 HP power and 400 Nm torque. It comes standard with Jeep's Rock Track 4x4 system, True Lock electronic lock differentials and an electronic front sway bar disconnect option. Sway bars are used for giving stability while driving, but when disconnected, the tires get longer travel. As you can see, while others here in the competition might struggle on this seriously tough articulation track, Rubicon clears it with ease. Rubicon also gets a wider track and longer wheelbase, which helps it in climbing steep inclines without breaking a sweat. Integrated off-road camera makes sure you are aware of your surrounding and can navigate any tough spot. With 272 HP power, performance on road is great and there's never a dearth of power. However, with the mud terrain tires which come as standard in this Rubicon, the ride isn't as smooth. There's a fair bit of body roll too, but nothing you would not expect from a mighty off-roader like this. The other complaint you might have with the Rubicon is that the second row is not the most comfortable and does not offer great seating position. At around 80 lakhs, you get classic Jeep aesthetics with modern technology and unbeatable off-road capability.
Heads turn wherever Hilux walks in. Such is the macho appeal of this pickup. Missing out a petrol engine for all those who don't travel all that much is something Toyota can look into. But then the 2.8-litre diesel is powerful, reliable and lives long. My experience at Auras with Hilux was a mixed bag. While the visibility is genuinely impressive, the overhangs will bother you, especially climbing up an incline. The wheel articulation isn't close to a Thar or a Jimny, but the diesel engine powered me through the obstacle courses. At the end of the day, Hilux is a pickup and it does its duty without breaking a sweat. But on the flip side, an unloaded Hilux is a rather bumpy ride on the highways, which is a bit difficult to deal with. It gets hill descent control and electronic def lock, and they were more than handy for the challenges at Auraz. While you do get dual zone AC and cruise control, I expect more. Features like 360-degree camera and tire pressure monitoring system are bare minimum, especially Toyota charging you almost double for Hilux than what its nearest competition Isuzu V-Cross does.
Now this is the India spec G400D and the D suffix means it is diesel. 700 Newton meters in total. The 3-litre oil burner produces 330 horsepower with 6 cylinders and a turbocharger in place. Rides on air suspension and therefore the damping can be altered. A solid axle on the rear and independent front suspension does the job quite well, but there's a constant bounciness in the ride in such environments. On highways it is smooth, comfy and poised. And with 3 differential locks in place, the G-Wagon showed us its capabilities to crawl the steepest of inclines and the deepest of articulation tests. It keeps you cocooned with pompous interior. The seats, they get active side bolstering on the G.
Well, we have had a lot of fun driving around these bad boys on this lovely track at Auraz. If you were expecting a winner, then I must tell you, well, they all are winner in their own right because they all have their own pros and cons, and we have highlighted all of them in this video. But now what you need to do is decide your price point and start your off-roading journey.
Sometimes it is important to fill the gap. The gap I'm talking about is left by the absence of Volkswagen Polo and the Fiat Punto. In short, the hot hatches. Now Hyundai tried to attempt that with the i20 N line, and now it is Tata's turn with the Altroz Racer. But have they got the concoction right? Let's find that out in this video. It gets a blacked out bonnet, a blacked out roof and these racing stripes. There are only 3 color options, this orange along with a nardoish grey and a white color. And the visual changes are not just limited to this dual tone paint scheme. The alloy wheels, they are blacked out, and it also gets side skirts and a large chunky spoiler. Now getting inside the Altroz Racer is easy. Why so? Because the doors open 90-degree wide and they close with a solid third. Well, the tinge of orange remains standard on all variants of the Altroz and on all paint schemes. What you get standard is this 10.2-inch infotainment screen with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You also get a wireless phone charger. The instrument cluster is now a full digital affair and it looks promising nonetheless. The steering wheel, the seats, everything remains the same except for the new upholstery, which get this orange accents on the stitching and the 4-seat upholstery. Yes, you do get ventilation function and a sunroof on the Altroz Racer. Now this piano black theme on the interior is a dust and fingerprint magnet, while the plastic is scratchy and this texture is prone to be a dust magnet again. So keeping this interior clean will be a tough job. As regards for safety, what you get is 6 airbags as standard along with your ABS, EBD, seat belt reminders, and you also get 3-point seat belts for all 5 occupants. And let's not forget the 5-star GNCAP rating that the Altroz has received. With the Racer badge, Tata Motors says they have tweaked the suspension. They have also recalibrated the steering of the Altroz Racer to make it more lively, more enjoyable. And I have to say, after driving it for a couple of 100 kilometers here in Coimbatore on road, in city traffic and on the coast track, that this Altroz Racer is actually a fun car if you have the guts to play around with it. because you get a more powerful motor on the Altroz Racer. The Nexon derived 1.2 turbo petrol, putting out 120 horses and 170 Newton meter. And this torque curve is rather flat and is accessible from as low as 1700 clicks on your tacho needle. And the power band is also very clean, I would say. It is a gradual build-up of power, but you would love it nonetheless. Since it's a 3-cylinder motor, there are some vibrations, but it will keep you happy. Now first, second and third gear will be the most usable in your daily driving exercise. On highways, you will be happy cruising at 5th and 6th. And they offer a very laid back and relaxed driving manners. And helping out with the gearbox is the new hydraulic clutch that Tata Motors has used specifically on the Altroz Racer. Now it has reduced the overall engagement and disengagement timing for the gear shifts, and as a result it can clock 0 to 100 kmph in just around 11 seconds. It still remains disc on the front and drums on the rear. Coming down to the suspension, it's the best balance of ride and handling that I have seen in this price point. A major gripe that I have is with the gearbox itself, because it is slightly rubbery and squishy, but it is also the tires that disappointed me initially. The MRF Eco Treads are low rolling resistance and more mileage oriented tires and not performance oriented, but on the track they held their ground rather well. It looks tacky, it'll have polarizing opinions, and I'm sure you would not find it convincing enough. Rest assured, with time it'll grow on you. As for interiors, they are loaded with features now to stand against the competition. But it's the quality niggles that would ask me to keep away from this car. As for performance, it is peppy. It is a great car to drive in city and on the highway. But when we were pushing it around the track, we could feel a few things that were not right on the Altroz. The gearbox does remain one of them. And as for the prices, it starts from 9.5 lakh. In comparison to the i20N line, it has a 50,000 rupees cheaper and more accessible starting point.